Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Wisdom Circle. Here we remember what the world has asked us to forget, that you are not lost, you are not broken, you are the light. And I am excited to dive into our conversation today. So, welcome, everyone. And um, yeah, let's do this. I've missed the last two, so I'm excited to be back here with you guys. You have to fill me in as to what's been happening.
Well, we're excited for you to fill us in on the
Been
amazing
doing,
thing
yeah.
that you did.
You were missed.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was very cool. On so many different levels. So to fill in anybody watching this, I was traveling to Spain, to Madrid and Granada, where I was co-facilitating an art retreat that was absolutely fantastic. We had a beautiful little house that we stayed in for most of the week. Little house. It was a big house. It was like a boutique hotel. So it was just us there. Absolutely gorgeous place that was purchased from an interior designer from Madrid who renovated it and then redecorated it. And it was in a little town in the mountains called I know if I got to say this, Albuñuelas. it's it's very like my mouth doesn't form in that way. Albuñuelas, and I would wake up in the morning saying it in my head so I could remember. And it was just fabulous to be able to walk around that little town and, just see how the community lived and the views, those beautiful views of the houses in the hills and all the whitewashed walls. And, um, there was cool feature. The bread man came daily during the week selling bread out of his truck, which is cool.
Oh,
So remember how the
awesome.
milkman used to deliver?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the bread man. So that was cool. Um, got to do a wine tour, little winery just down the
Nice.
hill from us. Yeah, and it was Nevada winery, I think. They sell in the US, they don't sell in Canada. But it was beautiful and their wine was fantastic. Um, learned a lot about their processes. They're trying to go organic. And then we went down to the coast to Salobreña. It's another small town. Really do want to
Good.
learn more Spanish. I want to learn more Spanish and Italian and French, pick up my French again. Like I need to learn more of these languages. But here's the big thing. It's like we can dive into this is
Mhm.
the whole process of going there, flying by myself, because the other ladies were all coming from different locations in the US. So I flew from Calgary, Alberta to Frankfurt, Germany, then to Zurich, Switzerland, and then to Madrid. And so it was a series of connecting flights. And I've never traveled across the ocean by myself. I've done traveling around the US by myself, which is pretty good. Now I used to be really scared of that, but now I'm like, got this. And the whole journey there and leading up to the journey was I became so present to the fears that were inside of me. And
Mhm.
the big thing is the awareness that I've had over the last couple months of how my body communicates to me. And I don't know if we talked about this prior to me leaving or not, but the
No.
whole like where do you hold fear in your body? Because that is where your resistance is, that you cannot manifest. I think we did talk about you cannot manifest the things that you desire unless you're in full coherence with your body, your mind, and your heart. And I say soul. So full coherence is when those are all in alignment, when they are all, when you are speaking, when you are believing, when you are acting in full coherence. And you can have fears, but how are you navigating those fears? Like, are you allowing them to shut you down and close your energy up? So what I've been working through since August was an awareness of how much fear I was still holding in my body from childhood, and that I was ignoring it. The stomach clenching. It's like, no, I got this. I'm good. I was doing it all from my head instead of allowing my body to relax and release. That's my big journey right now with the people in my community too, is like in December here. It's like we're going into full coherence. We're releasing fear frequencies. So that whole journey for me was huge because traveling in that way, like I was terrified to do that. And I just had to be present in the moment every step of the way. And anytime a fear thought came up, it was like, breathe. I got this, like putting my hands on my belly because I feel the fear in my belly. People feel it in different areas, but for me, it's always been my belly. And just breathe and know that, you know what? We'll figure this out one step at a time. It's okay. People are good. So
Yeah.
there, I was so scared of, oh, getting taken advantage of or, being vulnerable in certain ways. And I found that I got to Madrid, I got to my hostel and but I was alone in that part of Madrid. The people that I was connecting with, the other woman who was facilitating the retreat, she was, good probably 20-minute walk away. And I didn't know the area yet. But she texted me and she said, here's my pin. Like, come over if you want. And I was so like, you know what? I feel really good. I'm just going to walk around and in the area that I'm in and just get be by myself for a while. So that was huge for me. And I know it took up a huge chunk there, but that overcoming, I don't even want to say overcoming the fear. It's
Mm-mm.
just not allowing the fear to control me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm moving
So, and
through
coming
it
home too.
in
Yeah. Go
mhm.
ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that because I know that I'm experiencing similar things with going to India in January. That things are coming up. Right now, originally I was going with someone else from here, and that's not the case. So I will be flying at this particular point on my own. I don't know if that'll change, but at this point. So, and I've never flown. I mean, it's a 17-hour flight, right? Looking at all aspects of that being alone on a plane. And it's like, oh my goodness. So it's going to be, and I'm like at 64, I'm like, this is pretty courageous
It
Yes.
is.
to go
That
out there.
is.
I think it's courageous at any age, but I just think being, of a mature age, it's that element of, yeah, like this is going to be, I think I'm going to be changed after
Yeah.
going there.
You will.
And I don't think we can
Absolutely. And
help
I
but
don't think,
not be changed.
yeah, that's what I was just going to say. So where do you fly to? From Toronto
I believe
to,
it's France, and then it's to Chennai. So it's
okay.
one stopover. I don't think it's two at this particular point, but I know that that keeps changing. So
Mhm.
that changing creates a little bit of fear every time that there's a change. Because I think it's been three times now where times have changed, and it's like, oh my goodness. So yeah,
Yeah, just my experience would be allow for big um
Gaps.
layovers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you don't have to feel like you have to rush. Like even 3-hour layovers or more, because you do have to go through security and customs and everything in every point. Like when you get to France and then when you get to Chennai, um, choose your seat.
Some can be long.
Yeah. Choose your seat on your planes, like pay that little extra, choose a seat. I like the window seat so I can lean my head against, right? Make sure you have water and
yep,
snacks.
Right.
And
Well, and being
yeah,
able to get up and move around like that, you know, that sort of thing too. So
yeah, that's tricky too. But
all the prep. Well,
yeah,
because it was that was one of the things with talking with the doctor, because I have to look at what going to India, what vaccinations I might need. So I'm in that process as well. But I talked to the doctor, and they're like, take a baby aspirin a couple of days before, right, and make sure you get up and move around. She goes, compression socks can help. Like there's all kinds of things that they were suggesting. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
because of being up in the
that's
air for
good
so long.
advice. Yeah, that's really good advice because I didn't think of that. But yeah, it is a long time in the air and it is, but also being in the plane, what I was doing was imagining, you know how a monk can sit there in meditation for so long without food or water. Everything just flows through. There's no gripping. There's
Yep.
no like, and I was doing that all the way there. I kept thinking, okay, I'm the monk. I'm going to be the monk that nothing's sticking to me. I'm not making anything mean anything. I'm not diving into any of those fears or worries about my next stop. I'm just gonna, and having that big delay over, what did I call that again? Um, between flights, it really helps.
Layover. That took me a
Layover.
minute. I
Thank you.
was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that really helps. Even though it extends your trip, it's a good
when you're
idea.
doing a big trip like that, it's like one of those things that it's just like you get to ease into it versus like be in a rush. Because I've been in the opposite direction. I've been in the rush, and it is no fun trying to figure out where you need to. I've flown a lot more in the last few years. I've yet to fly across the big pond. But even just like from all the trips I've done down south and stuff like that, it's like having layover times makes it so much easier to be in the flow
Yeah.
and to be in the less grip versus like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I only have an hour and a half to get through or like an hour. Cause I went through customs. I flew down to Bahamas and I had to go through customs, and it was like we were in customs for like an hour when we landed. So I mean, like yeah, it can take a long time depending on
It
where you're
can.
going.
When I came home from Madrid to Newark and then from Newark to Calgary, avoid Newark if you can.
I've heard that rumor.
I had a 2 hour and 40-minute layover and I was running to my gate as they were boarding, like because of the security. Like you come through first, it's customs, I guess. Yeah, customs where you show your passport, which was not a problem as a Canadian. They just flowed me through, but it was a half-hour wait line as soon as I got there. And then I had to pick up my luggage, which I didn't realize because they told me my luggage would meet me in Calgary, but that it's not true. I had to pick up my luggage and then take it kind of around the corner and it got dropped off. It was very bizarre, not very efficient. And my one luggage didn't make it to Calgary with me. But um, then it was like, okay, now I have to change terminals for departures. And it was take the train, which those are easy to take. It's very easy to navigate as you just follow the signs. And then got off of there thinking, okay, now I'm in the terminal. Oh no, I'm not. Now I have to take a shuttle. And and then it's like, oh, now we have to go through security again because we're no longer inside the airport. We're outside.
Right.
So, and then security took forever.
Mhm.
So yeah, it took up all my time. I didn't have time to go to the bathroom or get some water. That's why I said make sure you have water, which you have to get after security and snacks. And I didn't have anything. And I was so thirsty and I had a bit of a cough that I developed and I was so hungry, and all I got was a little bag of pretzels and a glass of water from
Oh no.
Air Canada. But the flight, like, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
it's just an adventure. It's an adventure.
Well, I was going to say that the thing about like from
Well,
Janice,
yeah.
your trip and the feedback, and then again, Pamela, when you're coming into what you're going into shortly, it's like these things happen. And it doesn't matter which stage of life we're at when these things happen, we're stepping into that next level where you're expanding, you're growing. What we've done, and like you said, Janice, earlier about like, well, I've traveled to the States, I've got that. Well, that was one layer of expansion. And now there's this next layer. So it's like, yeah, it's part of the journey. It's part of the adventure. That's part of exactly like you said about being present. is part of that journey. Because when we do things over and over, it becomes easy, it becomes habit, and we don't have to think about it, and we don't need to be present. But it's like when you're doing something that is out of the comfort zone, is moving us into expansion and growth, this is where we do need to be present with our feelings, with what's showing up, so we understand what we're doing in the process and what we're receiving in the process. So powerful.
So huge. Like the fears that I've been releasing, and I released them before I went. So like, and on the journey there, so the journey was easier than it would have been before. But those fears ha- are the missing piece that, like, releasing them out of my body, because as I did that, I started to see how the things that I'm trying to manifest started showing up. Right? The money, people joining my groups, like, it's
Mhm,
been crickets all summer, and now all of a sudden everything is shifting, and it shifted the moment that I shifted.
Mhm.
So that, and so when we don't
yeah,
travel, when we say, "Oh, I'm not interested," usually there's because of fear underneath. And for me in the past has been like, "Oh, I don't have the money to travel." Like, that's just not, which was the truth for many years, but for many years that was my security blanket. If I don't
mhm,
have the money to travel, I don't have to face these fears.
mhm.
And I get to stay safe in my place where I am. And
Comfort
so
zone.
so congratulations, Pam, because flying to India, going to India, that would be another that I would have to work through that again. Like, even though I went to Spain, it's like India is a whole other country, a whole other level. So that is very cool.
Absolutely. And I'm grateful and I'm excited, and of course, the excitement and the fear and the anxiety and the fear, they're on the same continuum. It's and facing those fears, and again, it's a lot to do with going alone, right? It's that
Mhm.
whole element of being in that vulnerable place of in amongst people that you don't know, in amongst people where there may be language barriers. Like, it's just that whole element, and I'm sure I will navigate it just fine. But it's that whole element to that I can't ignore, that there is that fear, especially when I found out, oh my God, I'm not going with someone. Um, and DJ's great. He goes, "Oh, Shakti has started already," right?
Right.
They called it Shakti Yatra is the name of the trip, and so it's already started with and I do believe that. I do believe that, okay, I am being pushed and expanded, right? Um, which is only going to help me in the long run. And I think it's going to help me to help others in connecting with others and those fears. So I'm excited. I'm really, really
Yeah.
excited. I mean, I love being on a plane.
Mm.
I can fall asleep on the plane, and I'll never forget the first time. I mean, the longest I've ever flew was 4 hours, but I remember the very first time that I actually fell asleep and I woke up, and it was a much smaller plane because it was a stopover from, I believe it was like New York or to back to here in Ontario. But it was crazy because I was like, wow, this is the epitome of trust. I just fell asleep, peaceful, comfortable, while someone else is, at the helm guiding this plane, and we're 35,000 or 40,000 miles up in the air. I'm like, I need to apply this in my whole life. Like, I remember
Right?
that kind of aha moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
curious
it's
as to
so
what the
interesting, like,
aha
literally.
moments will be.
But this is the thing, is like we
Go ahead,
make a
and I'll end
decision.
this. Sorry.
I've seen I've seen this happen, I don't know how many times. Like when we make a decision towards something, it's like, "Oh my gosh, you're already making change." Like the decision is the change you're
Yes.
inviting in. And so it's like, and I think that's hilarious, Pam, that you're like, "Oh yeah, the plane," but it's literally that. It's like, we do that with everything though. We get into a cab and we're like, "We need to go here," and we just kind of sit back and let them do it. We get into a plane or a train or whatever, and we trust. It's funny where we apply trust without thinking about it, but when we're making decisions for our own journey, we're in so much like hemming and hawing and making decisions and whatever, and it's like, but if we just trusted in every decision as easily as we trust we're getting on a plane and we're to get to where we need to go, and they like removing the fear of even what might happen on the plane, it's literally just the like getting to where the right place, like that whole piece. It's like, wow, there's such a powerful feeling here, but we just it's funny that you like you said, we don't apply it to all aspects of our life either. So funny.
That is so true. I love that because when I get on a plane, I completely relax. I like flying because I have full trust in the pilots. And I'm just like, this is full trust in the pilots and the universe of like, you know what? If this is my time, this is my time. It's going to happen. I have no control over it. I'm going to let go and just be in the moment. And I get to like read for several hours at a time or listen to audiobooks. And I'm cut off from internet. Like I know you can purchase Wi-Fi now, which would be an advantage on the long flights. I felt that. I was like, oh, I could be doing some work, but it is pretty cramped corners. Like pretty cramped if you're in the economy section. Like if you're in the business or first class, then you've got space to have your computer out. But I just let go and be in the moment, and no one's gonna call me or change my schedule. It's just
Well, and I think too, again, work is a safety net for us. It's that
Mhm.
element of, again, I don't have to be present. Realistically, I don't have to be present if I'm in my work.
Yep. You're right,
Right.
you're
So
you're
it's like, I do not want to do that. I am actually, one of the things that I'm going to do is have carry-on baggage. I'm not going to worry about checking anything. So I'm packing, moderately for that reason, just to make that part of the journey so it's not a stressor and not a worry, right? It's there. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to being present. And you never know who you're going to connect with or meet or
right.
possibly have a conversation with. So I love all of that aspect.
Remind me again of why you're going to India. What's the draw there?
It is the spiritual, it is stepping into a new culture, it is, the idea of checking out the temples and traditional music, singing, all of that kind of stuff, the tea fields. I just think it's just immersing myself in another culture. I, bought in the Dominican, but I bought in an area where it's not touristy. It
Mhm.
will get there, I'm sure, over time, but it's not there. I like the idea of being really close to the culture and
Yeah.
connecting with the local people and the interactions with local people. Even with language barrier has been amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from that perspective that I think it's just going to give me a different understanding of another part of the world from experience, not from what we hear, because not everything we hear is factual.
Mhm.
My gosh, no. And so are you meeting people there? Like, is this a group
Yes.
that's
Yes,
going?
there will be a group from different people all over. I
Good.
think there'll be about 10 of us, so it's not gonna be huge, but, I think a nice sort of intimate group, and it's going to be looking at what is it bringing up for us, right? What are the experiences that we see and feel, and so there'll be discussions around that in the evenings. They've got us staying at really nice, accommodations so that we can fully relax to take in the experience. So
Uh,
he's taken into account everything. And DJ, he's a healer in his own right, and he uses crystal bowls, and he's a musician. His family's from there, so he goes back, flies back frequently. And he's been asked to do this for a number of years, and he's finally put it together. And so this is his first group that he's taking over there.
That's
So
So
fun.
awesome. That's so much fun. I'm really excited for you. It's been such a like you just cannot go on these trips and not change and grow and expand and especially if you go with a specific intention, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
And when I was in the Dominican, we went on a tour down there. This was probably the second time there, Solana Island. And I am telling you, I was so moved because the woman who was doing the tour on the boat, she's lived there for 13 years. She takes care of the stray dogs, and there's a donkey that was on this island, and this donkey literally, soon as heard her voice, was just came trotting along, but he was injured. Like one of his legs was injured. I was like beside myself, bawling like a baby, like hyperventilating, bawling. And it was that whole element of the love that this animal had for this woman, and like, even when I talk about it, I well up because it just left such an impact on me because of how we live, but there's nothing wrong with that, but when you go and experience how such simple things, can be so profound, and the love that can be shared in simple things like that, and then seeing the people and the joy and the peace. I'm telling you, I was a wreck. It took me probably a good half hour to pull myself together because this animal and this connection just, and unfortunately, that beautiful donkey passed away last year, but it just, yeah. So it's like I'm looking forward to seeing, BJ has shared some pictures and, cows in the streets and which are very sacred over there. And so it's, yeah, I'm really, really looking at the tears, really looking forward to the experience
Yeah. Oh
and
my
seeing what I'm impacted by and how I'm impacted. And
And you're gonna get the experience just from having somebody who's, like, from there, not just, kinda jumping on, like, a touristy whatever, like, you're
I,
getting a hands-on experience with somebody who is lives there and is already, enmeshed with the community and stuff like that, so
yeah,
that's gonna be so exciting.
I can't wait.
That is so cool. Yeah. One of the things too I came back with was a more embodied power and sovereignty in myself and what I do. Um, just being in a retreat space and with someone who has been like a mentor to me, not someone that I've put on this huge pedestal or anything, but um, I have had a lot of respect for what she does, but also then, recognizing what I bring, that I am not her, and I don't want to be her and I don't want to do it her way. And she's a very different personality and just being able to just kind of land in that sense of, you know what? I am bringing a lot to the plate and experiences for people, and I do it my way, and my way is perfect for many people. Maybe not all of them, but for many. And just, that self-assuredness of to move forward. And and so that was just another level for me. So
Mhm.
and a bonus because I didn't expect that. But yeah.
Well, VJ was so excited when he knew that I was going, because him and I have had some really deep conversations around unconditional love and around humanity, and he said, "You've just added another layer to this trip." He goes, "Because the wisdom that you already have and the unconditional way," and I'm getting emotional with it, but the unconditional way that you have just in being who you are already, he goes,
Mhm.
"You're gonna add a whole lot to this trip." And so I think, in hearing that, it's humbling, but there's that element of, I don't get it. I know that sounds funny, but I don't intrinsically get it. So I think, as what you're saying, Janice, I think the experience is going to help me. Again, I've talked about sovereignty in past conversations, that this is going to solidify that sovereignty even more, and sovereignty and belief in myself in a different way.
Yeah.
Again, vibrationally, that affects everything we do.
Well, it's funny because we, and not just we as in those of us that are doing the serving, like, everybody serves. So it's like we are all bringing gift, but everybody that has gone through any growth, purposeful transformation, or unpurposeful even, we automatically as humans take for granted what we bring to the table because we experience it. It's like the same thing as like when you change every single day. Like, say if you're working on a weight goal or something like that, and you're working out in general and your muscles are changing every day. You're like, "Ah, I don't see it." It's like because you're looking at it every single day, you're enmeshed with it every single day. And so it's the you see somebody 2 weeks from now and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you look fantastic. What have you been doing?" They see it very clearly because they don't see it every day and they don't take it for granted that you look this way like the change when you're in growth or when you're expanding or when you're becoming more aware. is so subtle in the day to day. But when you look back, recently I was asked to kind of look back over my story. And I mean, like, right back to like when I kind of even before I was doing this work, but like way back. And it was like, oh my gosh, we don't take the time to look back enough to say, this is how far I've come. Like, I could tell you 10, 15, 15 years ago, I couldn't come up with one thing I could feel gratitude about. And I teach that in such a way that people like I've had people, like you said, Pam, I've had people tell me, like, oh my gosh, I've never felt it until I went through that visualization or meditation with you. And it's like, if I had looked at, like, I don't feel that because it's our gift and we don't really see it. It's like the fruit from the tree. The tree doesn't eat the apple, right? So it's like we take for granted what we provide. That's why we don't see it. But it's just trust and know that it's already there.
And that is so true. I look at it also too, I think, is that if we knew, that's where the ego starts to come into play, right? And can really misconstrue things for us. So yeah, I think from even looking at my life and going, okay, there's a lot of things that I did in supporting and serving when I was just living my life. I had no clue until I become more aware. And then I went, oh, wow. Yeah, okay. And but I believe it's because the ego didn't get involved, that the universe, it's easier for the universe to work with us and through us when our ego is not involved, when we are just being our truest human form, right? Now, the awareness has helped me to go, okay, now I know that I can help to manifest, I can help to co create in a very different way now than I was aware of at the time because I was so in my story. I was so in my human pain, so in my human scarcity, right? But I had to experience all of that to get where I am now.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I love it.
Second that. Oh,
Mhm.
I love what you said, Alana. The tree doesn't eat the apple.
Yeah, I love that
I've
too.
never heard that before.
Well, it's like we sit there. It's funny because we'll share like wisdom with our friends, and it'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so like the wisdom that I give," and it's usually wisdom that you need, we need, that we share with our friends and family and the clients we work with and people that we know. Like you said, Pam, even if you're not doing this work specifically, if you're growing and expanding in any way, shape, or form, and you share wisdom or even insight from a perspective outside of that, it's meant for them. The fruit is never meant for the bush or the tree because it's meant for the person walking by.
Right.
We're not meant to consume it. But that's why there's other people out there that are sharing gifts. That's why coaches need coaches. That's why everybody needs to expand because there's somebody out there that has a gift for us. And that's
Mhm.
why we're also supposed to learn to receive because a lot of us that in this space give, but we may not receive, but we're meant to receive in order to continue to fertilize and grow, expand.
Yes. Oh, and these, when we put ourselves out on the edge,
Mhm.
wherever it is, whether it's starting a business, jumping into a relationship, traveling, that's where the growth is. And there's just so many of us that, like you said, Pam, are really wrapped up in the story, in the scarcity, in the victimization story. Well, I haven't got to do that. And I found that popping up for me as I was there because these women were felt very worldly. They had done a lot of traveling. So this retreat with a group of women that came for the travel more so than the experience of a spiritual art journey, which is what I usually give. So when I have retreats here in North America, they come for the spiritual art aspect. And the place is great if it's a great, beautiful place. But for these women, they came for the travel first. So it was a cool awareness. But they also had done a lot of traveling in their life. Even some of them from childhood were raised in families where they traveled everywhere. They were in France, they were in Switzerland, they went to Israel, they went to the Egypt already at the age of 26. And I'm like, what? Like, and I found myself going, Well, I didn't have that advantage. And in my head, right? I found myself thinking, wow. And then I had to really do some mindset, like, stop. Janice, look at where you're going. Like, look at
Yeah.
where you're
Yeah,
going
no
and let
comparisons here.
and comparison and the victim story and the poor me, right? And
Must
then
be
I had to
nice.
yeah, and I had to stop and go, "Wait a minute. Your story is just as important as their story."
That's
Like
it.
you were saying, Pam, right?
Yeah.
And it's different, but it's just as important. And it's okay that you don't have as worldly experiences or understand the history as well as they did. Because I was like, "Whoa, you guys know your history really well." I'm feeling a little out of the loop, but it's like, no, they just piqued my interest more. And so, yeah, catching that, being present enough to catch yourself when you slip back into those old stories, right? And so a lot of us really need to let go of those stories, release, release, release right now. Astrologically, this is the perfect time to be in that void of like, I'm letting go of everything, right? Just gonna be in the moment but also to hold the compassion and the love and the respect for yourself that you've moved through your own journey and there is no comparison. Yeah.
Well, and I'm loving too, like I'm seeing more and more. I find that our Western culture, there hasn't been maybe the same kind of traveling that other parts of the world where it seems to be more normalized.
Mhm.
But a girlfriend of mine, her daughter, her oldest daughter, was moved to Scotland, London. She's now in Singapore. Like she is just traveling, and she's got two small children
Mhm.
and her children are learning Japanese, and I'm like, "You go, girl," because that the education that you gain from it is very different than your schooling textbook
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I think that's why also I'm so excited for India because I think you just learn very differently being immersed in the culture. I mean, 14 days is not a long time, but it's enough to get a taste of being actually in the culture. And yeah, I mean, I look at my life and go, God, I didn't realize I would love traveling as much. But again, that conditioning that I was raised with,
Yeah.
realistically, that's what it was about. And I was like, wow, no. And I'm thankful that I have a partner that when I shared with him about India, he's like, India? Shocked. And I showed him the itinerary and he was like, not for me. I said, hence why I didn't ask you. He goes, "But it is right up your alley. Go,
Mhm.
enjoy, and have fun," right? So, like,
Nice.
really supportive of that, and when you haven't had that, I've always been the pillar for the people in my life, allowing them to grow, allowing them to better that sounds funny, but that's the honest to God truth in relationships, taking care of things. This one here, he's taking care of me. He is supporting me. He's allowing me the room and the space to continue to grow and do the things that I love to do. And
Mm,
you,
I
you
love
know,
that.
I couldn't ask for something better at this stage in my life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And that too. Two things here. You were saying one is that traveling disrupts the pattern.
Mhm.
Traveling gets you out of your mainstream thought and into a new perspective and
100%.
seeing things from different angles, right? And I love that to go away and get a clearer vision. And the other thing you said, I just said that to my husband. I'm like, he doesn't want to travel. That's not what he wants to do. And I respect that. That's totally fine. And for a long time, I didn't push it because I thought we had to go together. And I felt like selfish to go by myself. But over the years, I've come to realize that, you know what, I cannot not allow myself the adventures that my soul is seeking while I'm in this life. And he's been very supportive and very like, okay, go have fun. Just, keep texting me. I know you're okay, right? Like he worries. I know he worries. But I said to him, I go and I stretch and I experience, and then I'm so grateful coming home. And my love is deeper for him because he becomes like my lighthouse coming back home right? And my beacon. And I'm so grateful. I feel fuller and more expanded and more space for love for him. So it really is a testament to, the people that and I was thinking about my kids too. It's like let them go. Let them go. Let them fly because they will come back.
Oh,
Mhm.
And
100% they will.
yeah, and a deeper version of themselves. Yeah,
oh yeah, absolutely. I'm encouraging my children to go do things, get out, live your life, you
Yeah,
know.
me too.
Because I understand both ends of the spectrum not doing that, but I understand well how it feels to be doing that now. And it's true, we show up very differently in our life, in our relationships, in what we're doing when we honor that aspect of yourself and we don't deprive ourselves of what our soul is calling for. I mean, freaking a few years ago, I would have never thought I was going to India, right?
Right?
But it's like, here it is, and it was like, as soon as it came up, I'm like, I
Yeah.
think this is something for me," right? Like,
yeah,
so it's yeah, there's always opportunities around every corner.
there is. And
We just
Google
have
Translate is like the best app ever.
no doubt.
I got to Madrid and it was raining, it was nighttime, and I had to find my way to my hostel, and I finally just got a cab, and, I asked him, "Do you speak English?" And he's like, "Ooh, very, very little." Like, so I had the address typed out, and I just handed it to him, and he's like, like, the look on his face, right? And then he was trying to tell me something, I'm like, "I don't understand. I don't understand." And so I got the Google Translate out, and he relayed to me that he couldn't get me to my door, that I would have to walk a little ways, um, to get there because they're blocked off streets. They're like walking streets
Right.
and okay, so he was so sweet because he really made sure I knew where I was going when I got out of the car, and he got me as close as he could to like a 2-minute walk, right? But it was like Google Translate. I would never have known what I was doing. I would have gotten out of that cab, stood there, and go, I don't know where I am. Like,
You drop me randomly somewhere, but I
right?
don't know where
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be or how to get
He
there.
just told me to get out of the car.
It doesn't look like it. I don't see the address.
Yes. So that Google Translate is amazing, and there was a few other people I used it with too, where it's so cool that you can just communicate with people that you can't communicate with verbally, so
It's
that
funny. I think of like Star Trek translator.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm like, literally, we're in that world now. You
that
know?
is exactly what it is. I never thought of that. That's so cool. I love it.
They were ahead of their time, I always said that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were.
Yes, we haven't gotten to the point where there is no money exchange or any of that yet, but I mean, we got to start somewhere. So good.
Yes, yes. Oh, and I have to share something fringy on the edge. I was told yesterday by somebody to watch The Age of Disclosure, a documentary. It just came out November 21st. It's on Prime, but you have to purchase or rent it. And it is going to like make a shift for everyone. So I'll leave it with that. Let you guys investigate it.
Say that,
There's a
what
lot
was the name of it again? The Age of
disclosure. And it's along the UFO line.
okay.
Interesting.
So it
Yeah.
is interesting. So I'm having a watch party here at my house with a few ladies from this area. I'm like,
It's
Oh,
funny
that's
though,
awesome.
because as you said that, you're like, oh, I want to drop this out in the universe and let you guys investigate. As soon as you started to say, I had this thing, my ear started ringing. And I'm like, oh, so now I need to pay attention and listen.
Yeah,
oh yeah, oh
download
yeah,
happening. Yay.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, we have a couple minutes left, right? Do you want to talk about the energy of right now? I know, Alana, you were kind of
Oh, it's all good. I was just saying earlier this week, yesterday, actually, specifically, I was talking with a couple of people, and women in general are feeling like collectively away. And it's funny how we're feeling more and more like, I don't know, it was like to describe it without being like totally like women's rights, like all of that. But like it was just very primal feminine energy is what I was feeling with. And a couple of people I talked to yesterday, the same thing was like this really strong primal feminine energy of like let's just like literally I felt like I just wanted to go sit in the woods. You know what I mean? Like literally.
Yes. Ah,
I would love that, but the snow is just a little
I
too
know.
right now for me.
It's like wet and cold here. So is it like I was supposed to do a women's circle last night. I'm like, I wonder if they'd be interested if we just went outside, but it's so cold and wet. And I'm like, I just want to go sit in the like that was the feeling was like just and I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's this woman on TikTok, YouTube, like I don't think it's YouTube, but TikTok or Instagram or Facebook somewhere. And she's like she makes these like random comments, like talks about things that feminine things that women would only talk about, men would want to scroll away. And as soon as she's like, okay, are they gone? Are the men gone? Okay, when are we starting the commune? Like it's this whole thing. And it kept popping up yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
that is so funny. But that divine feminine is like super strong right
Right?
now, rising up even more.
Mhm.
Um, and that the great mother energy. And
Yeah.
so it's so funny that you say that. That's a whole other topic, Glenn.
Well, that's what I mean. I wanted to talk anyway, we could talk about it next week. We'll put a pin in it until next week.
We will, because I do want to share about the Great Mother March that's happening because I've been like kind of going, okay, how am I going to do this in Canada? It's happening in the States through one of my kind of friends, colleagues, and and I was talking to her about, okay, well, I'm not coming to the States to do it with you, but maybe we could create a sister. And she's like, I want like this to grow all over the world. That
Okay, let's hear
everyone
about it
has
next.
this, yeah, it's a Great Mother March. And it's not a protest or anything like that. It's a like it's a walk, it's a journey, it's like the El Camino journey, right?
Uh-huh.
And so as we walk, the vibration is awakening the earth. It's awakening that great mother energy, the divine feminine, the mother of all things, and awakening the world to it too. So I'll share that next week because I need time to kind of contemplate how I'm going to do this. So, but that divine feminine, man, oh man,
Well, like the song, The Savage Daughter, like that song was so like stuck in my head yesterday. And one of the
Right?
things when I've listened to the lyrics, and not that we probably all heard it, but one of the things that it said in there is like the song is being kind of along the line. I can't remember the lyrics specifically, the chord, one of the lyrics, but it's like the song that is coming out, right? It's being, oh, I have to find it now. But if you guys know it, maybe, but
yeah,
that
we
line.
are our mother's savage daughters.
Yeah, that part, but there's a anyway, this doesn't really matter specifically, but there's a
And
one of the end lyrics.
I love this because everybody automatically goes just to the feminine,
Mm,
I
right?
know it's both, so
It is both. Absolutely. And just wanted people in the audience who are watching this to understand that guys' worlds are going to be rocked because they're going to be
mhm.
stepping into more of their feminine energy and integrating it with their masculine. And that's the divine, right? That's the divine coming through.
Ye
Women have been walking in both masculine and feminine energies for a long, long time, in all honesty. And now it's shifting so that men are having to walk in the masculine and the feminine. And
mhm.
a lot of men are like, what the hell is going on with me? It's change, it's growth, it's evolution of your soul. It's
Yes,
magical.
and it's not anything to do with feminist movement. It is
No,
mm-mm.
not
not
that.
at all.
No,
No.
and, it is balance, and there's a lot of women that have not been walking in their divine feminine. They have been trying to be in the masculine way too much,
Yep.
which is beautiful to see that balance coming back for us. Oh. There's a really great book too, that I'm reading. I'm almost done. It's called Lilith. And
Mm.
have you read it?
I haven't, but I've seen it and heard about it a couple of
Yeah.
times.
I was listening to it on Audible, and it's beautiful on Audible. Her voice, she has this beautiful accent, and she's just reading it. It feels very meditative as you listen. And the author's done a lot of research into these times, like goes way back to Adam, Eve, and Lilith, and the true stories around it. And anyways, I bought the book too because I'm like, I need to see the words. I need to
Well,
see the names and everything and go back through it. But it's a really great one too. Did you find what you're looking for?
Did. I found the lyric. So it's like, yes, the mother's child or my mother's child is a savage, looks at for omens and colors and stones in the faces of cats and falls of feathers and the dancing of fire and curb of the old bones. And then the last one, oh, I guess it was the one before that. Man, I had it here a second ago.
Hmm.
There was another piece that it's like, um,
We will not cut our hair. We will
right?
not quiet our
Oh,
voice.
um, now we all are brought forth out of the darkness and water. It's one of the last lyrics. Brought out of this world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones, the old songs are awakening. Our sing. So sing them with the thunder of rain. Things sing them with the voices of thunder and rain.
Yes.
And I was
Yeah.
like, freaking yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, thank you for your
Yes.
patience on that one. But yeah.
Well, and that's where that feeling of sovereignty is coming into the feeling of personal empowerment, of worthiness, of like, you know what, I'm here and I belong here and there's a reason why I'm here and I get to I get to own my space. Like take up space.
and we don't have to shrink as we get older.
Right? Oh, and I heard that yesterday before we go yesterday that we're coming into a time right now where the elders' voices, the people that are out here like us doing this, like from our 50s, 60s, 70s, their voices are going to be more sought out, more heard. But the younger generations are going to start listening more, which I'm like, I love that because I see a lot of beautiful young generational women that are coaches that have so much to say, and yet they do not have the experience of that. But they know it, but they haven't had the experience. So it's like the
To
beautiful
solidify it, yeah.
meshing. Yeah, the meshing of both. So, and yeah,
Oh, this is so fun. We could chat about this forever.
I know.
Next week,
Yes,
To
we
be
will save
continued.
more for
to
next
be
week.
continued.
So,
Part one.
so we will just, is there anything else you guys want to say before I close?
No, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing your beautiful energy, both of yous, and yeah, great conversation.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
all for
you.
listening.
Yes, so thank you everyone for being here and joining us as our circle closes for now. The light remains, not just here, but within you. So let these words echo through you, your being like a lighthouse calling you back home, steady, unwavering, sovereign. We've said that word several times today.
Mhm.
And remember to share in here what touched you, to share anything that you would like us to chat about. Subscribe if you feel the call. And always remember that you are the light, you are the way, and the circle will be here when you need to return. Mm. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you.